Hello, welcome.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Justin. Hey, Xenia. How are you doing?
Great. So I'm gonna
Doing great.
behind the scenes here, and I'll leave you to it, and then I'll add James when they arrive as well. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're good to start.
Okay, let
So,
me.
how are you doing today, Alex?
Well, today is Saturday. I had amazing 10 hours of sleep. And
This is very valuable these days.
yeah, I've been resting all the day. I feel calm and nice.
That's
So,
very good. I believe that Alex doesn't really need to be introduced to Blockchain Center audience because we already did multiple NFT panels, which I was also a part of them, and I personally also very excited to be involved in Rarible. And I think today, why we were both invited was to kind of we already discussed a lot of topics in this series, but maybe to wrap up what this year has brought us in terms of the development of NFT market. And yeah, like very excited to discuss it today and hear some of your thoughts, maybe share some of mine.
awesome. Yeah, there's been a crazy year for the NFT market.
And for Rarible as well.
For Rarible, definitely. Just a year ago, Rarible just started.
And when is the official launch of Rarible? What do we count as the first launch date?
We never had an official launch. We just launched it and started creating NFTs. I believe might be. We just recently celebrated our year
Yeah.
since the first mint. Let me try to find when that was.
And while you're doing that, did you find it?
Yeah, just trying.
Okay, because I'm gonna ask one of my first questions. Probably it is believed, and I think this is something that also you have mentioned previously, that NFT is the market. This is and also the technology that is going to bring the next 10 million people to blockchain. And what do you think about that? How this is going to work?
Well, that's a great question. I don't remember when I mentioned that, but it rings the bell. I certainly did. So I think, like, I do remember my first experience with NFTs. Even just not mine first experience, just a lot of users' first experience was CryptoKitties, and it alone just hanged the network. And the Ethereum network was clogged with transactions. Everybody was trading kitties. It was just this crazy idea of something living on chain and being visual and being yours. So that fact alone can definitely can tell you that the potential is crazy. The next time Guts Unchained launched their card game Hearthstone style, I suppose like one of the ex Magic the Gathering guys working with Immutable on Gods Unchained. So they are quite prominent in this gaming world, and they launched then again. There was 3.66 million transactions of card interactions on Ethereum blockchain at launch, and so this facts, just craziness of how that can be when brought when something real brought to Ethereum. No, well, like not something real, but something non-financial, I would say. It's just NFTs are just another answer for a lot of my friends. Like, why do I need blockchain? They ask me, like, why do I need
Yeah.
blockchain? What are you doing, man? And I say, like, well, we're for example, now we're trading digital art on chain, and they're like, wow, tell me, how does it work? And they're being engaged. Because, and previously when we were talking about financial stuff, they were like, I have a credit card, why do I need it? So NFTs became just one more great use case for the whole blockchain technology. I suppose like there wasn't even anything else successful in terms of non-financial. Like during 2017, we had a lot of ideas that people would put, I don't know, carbon emissions, trees, like any sort of registries on chain to track something, like corporate blockchains, databases with your counter agents, your counterparties. Yeah. So there was a lot of ideas. How can we apply blockchain to some specific business need and receive an outcome in being more efficient when using blockchain instead of just the centralized databases? And there was nothing really a vital spread except for the financial instruments. So like Ethereum definitely strives with financials, with loans, with a lot of that. And for some time, people just thought maybe the financial is the only use case for blockchain out there at all. And but when you break down the core value propositions of blockchain, people interactions, well, it definitely has not a lot of sense to use blockchain when there is no much counterparties involved. Like you need to synchronize to a shared state when a lot of different stuff happens. And NFTs happen to be this new use case that sometimes is like, they are broadly speaking, they're just liquid representations of IP rights. Like crypto art is IP rights to the pictures, to videos, to MP3s, and it's intersection between financial, intellectual property, and entertainment. And I've been speaking recently to Metaverse guys, and they told me this funny this thought really caught me somewhere, that the consumption, the entertainment industry lives on the end of the consumption chain. So like you go to the movie, you buy something, you buy a ticket to the movie, you go to the movie, and then it's done. Like you can't really do anything with it anymore. So or you watch the movie, you ate something, you entertained somehow. So this is the like end product. It's and because of this, like we live in this really advanced economy with a lot of financial flows and a lot of, so this end like end of the supply chain is really broad. So that's why I believe, I'm not precise enough about articulating how that works, but I'm just telling my thoughts about this. So NFTs are just, money is usually an intermediary in some like financial aspects are usually an intermediary in some processes. Like you put money and then you send them next. So while talking with NFTs, it's a product in itself. It's not just intermediary. It's a huge industry. IP rights, I don't have exact numbers, but it's not efficient right now. The industry is not efficient. When you're writing IP rights contract for music or for pictures, it's done on paper. There is nothing liquid happening out there. That's why I believe that there is like huge potential. Gaming is on the rise. IP rights is untapped global market, and that's another use case that requires fast blockchains, that requires like it heavily dependent on the shared data. So yeah, that's why I'm a big supporter of that.
And it sounds like it makes sense that if we talk about the next 10 million people who are the new adopters of blockchain, so we're not talking only about digital art here. We're talking about the liquid IP rights. We're talking about music, about gaming. So I think, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. The art market will also grow, but I think all these different applications and the massive potential of NFTs in general, this is probably what's going to bring all this, like this massive new audience to adopt this technology.
Yeah, people often blame DeFi for being self-referential. So there's tokens on top of tokens used in fancy protocols that are like extremely cool. They allow you to do a lot of stuff that never been able to be done like in traditional markets. But it's all about itself. So there's nothing, no like inputs from the real world and not a lot of outputs to the real world, except for the stable coins that represent the real economy with just being pegged to USD. And so the NFTs like also bring this this massive like real world content on chain to be connected with these financial instruments, to take a loan collateralized by some NFT. I like this idea. So I spoke to recently again to some funds doing something with NFTs, and what they were doing is they are using SoRare. I hope I can talk about that, but they are using SoRare players to be rented out as a team. So SoRare is a game, is an NFT game when each player represents as an NFT, and then you can combine a team and play against somebody in this game with the team of your players that you acquired. So this fund, what they do is they acquired the expensive players and they rent them out to play in specific matches. It's the same strategy that Chelsea club is doing. They own a lot of players and they rent them out to other clubs to play. So this example just fascinated me, how this DeFi world can be connected to the NFT and being like to have a lot of sense in it. Like Niftex, another project that allows you to fractionalize NFT. There is a project, Rally Road, old style Web 2.0 project that is tokenizing expensive cars. You have an expensive car as an investment that costs $100,000. You can fractionalize it and allow each person to have like to own one thousandth part of that car and to be able to capitalize on it. This is the same process, and they spent a lot of money to build it because you need in order to achieve that, what they needed to build a company for each car and to conduct like a mini IPO for that company, to be able to issue shares of that car. That's crazy amount of overhead when we talk about that. And with this project Niftex that allow you to fractionalize an NFT like instantly on chain, a lot of potential. So 10 million people, like crypto market is relatively small now. Like I know the traffic of Binance, monthly traffic of Binance is something like 30 million users. And that's but like 30 million visitors, that's not like users. So we have like tens of millions active users in cryptocurrency market, like at all. That's very early for the market, and that's traders, which is much more this like crypto market is much more bigger than DApp market now, in which we live right now on Ethereum. So this is so early. The potential is huge to grow like 1, 10, 100,000 times in the next couple of years. It's so great to be here. And I know, like when you bought a computer, you probably like played a little bit in some games like Solitaire or like Solitaire or any other game. Minesweeper, there was a game, and there is an article that says that Microsoft created those games just to teach you how to play, how to use mouse and drag and drop or click into the tiny
Yeah, I
object.
heard about that.
So, and in that way, NFTs can teach you a lot about how blockchain works, because it's brain that simple. Like you have it in your wallet, this digital item, it's yours and it lives on chain. It's very digestible way of understanding how blockchain works, because like this dollar lives on chain is a little bit harder. This Uniswap pool it's on chain much harder. This Uniswap pool staked into urine to yield you some interest, completely crazy. NFTs, like they're visual, they have a like human readable name and description. We had a partnership with Urine on launching wine insurance NFTs at Rarible. We will probably launch more with DeFi projects. If there is any DeFi projects watching this, please reach out. We love to mix NFTs with DeFi. So when there is this insurance contract, there is a picture, you see that I'm covered for 10 ETH from smart contract losses. There is a description that says that it's right, like specific contract, specific date. And I know it's so understandable. You can start using it quite easily, and then expand to other instruments. Like it's been crazy after the launch of Rare Governance token, how digital creators went to Uniswap to create their pools. They launched their own social tokens. They launched the liquidity programs for their social tokens. We're going to support some social tokens for trading on Rarible as well in the near future. So if anyone here has a social token, please as well reach out to us, and we'll make something great with items being able to trade for that token. Yeah, I kind of lost track to this initial question about 10 million users, but it's the potential and the digestibility of it. What's going to bring a lot of new users here.
I have a couple of questions here, but since you already started on the DeFi, and you mentioned some of the probably top use cases of this, like collab between DeFi and NFT. But what are some other use cases? How we will see this merging further, and what kind of projects or what industries will come out of it? What else other than the projects that you already mentioned?
Okay, so big fan of options, of DeFi options contracts, just because like option contracts are like, they're quite a basic instrument in the financial world, but when we go out of the financial world, it's really hard for the person. It's really hard for the person to understand like what the option is. An option is a right to buy or sell an asset at a specific price. So imagine you bought some options that allow you to purchase ETH right now so you paid like $100 to purchase the right to buy ETH at current price in a month from now. What that means? That means that if the month passes and Ethereum now costs more than the current price, you can exercise your right to purchase that ETH at the previous price and realize the profit on top of it. So this construction is very powerful. Like a lot of financial instruments rely on it, but it's hard, especially hard if you try to express it with the ERC20 token. You would need to create a token with a lot of letters in it that would be called something like ETH options December 10 by. So, or to not have a standardized manner of displaying it. So one way to display an option contract is to have it inside NFT. So a specific card would play in your wallet, telling you that you have that right to purchase something at a specific price and a specific point. And there would be a picture of it. There would be a chart, a mini chart, telling you when you can do that. It's much more, I don't know, human friendly. Like I think that you can wrap almost any DeFi instrument in NFT, and it would just become better because there is like more explanation now to it. Like take Uniswap pool. Again, you have a Uniswap pool, and like imagine you supplied liquidity to Rarible ETH like pair. What it gives you in response when you supply that liquidity. So the protocol gives you this liquidity pool shares. And this liquidity pool shares is the ERC20 token with the specific name like Uniswap LP2. And it lives in your wallet, and you don't really understand what that is, because it's really hard to like name each token differently, and there is like it's hard to get it, or if you staked it on top. It if you would just create an NFT, if you would just create an NFT that has the same thing inside, but with the picture, with the description that this is a share stock in a Uniswap pool of this like token number 1 with the name, with his like icon for the token. It's much more closer to the user. NFTs are in general much more closer to the user. So this like Uniswap pools, let me just count them, the DeFi use cases that I think can be wrapped into NFT, like DeFi pools, options. I'm a big fan of just wrapping this usual ERC20 tokens in NFT. I think nobody yet tried to achieve that, but like imagine you're sitting on some, like you participated in the project, you got some, I don't know, 10% of the new project governance token. They're not yet liquid, they're not yet highly traded. You can't possibly sell that on Uniswap because the slippage would be like 100%. You would lose like half of your money when trading on Uniswap because there's no liquidity. But you can create something like OTC deal with NFTs. Like you just wrap like a big chunk of tokens into an NFT and put it on a marketplace, like they do in OTC trades, like with crypto. When you go to somebody else in the real world and say, like, I want to buy 1,000 Bitcoin, and they sell it to you without slippage. So like OTC NFT with just ERC20 tokens inside, insurance options, pools, each pool wrapped into NFT would be much more better, much more understandable, like what that is inside. Some locked tokens, like if some project locked you somewhere, like there is a staking, so you staked your tokens and then left. You need to remember where you staked them. You need to go to the website, you need to claim them. Otherwise, you can just have it inside your wallet, an NFT that tells you that you just did it. Like go somewhere, there will be a link to this website. You can go there and unstake your tokens. Again, just better UX for the user to understand what's happening. CDP, like collateralized debt positions.
Mm-hmm.
You put 1,000 ETH to claim some debt. You took a loan. When you're taking a loan, you receive this position item, like that tells you that there is a specific like collateral laying somewhere else on chain and waiting for you to repay that loan. Again, just a better UX. So NFTs are just the better UX for a lot of things in blockchain.
And talking about UX, the question I have here probably, and it has a lot to do with the adoption. What is the icebreaker with getting a non-crypto native audience in NFT? It's a question for blockchain in general, but specifically with NFT market. How do you provide them with the user experience that they won't get stuck in all this technical details? How do you explain, how do you show what they need to do to actually enter and benefit from it?
That's a great question. I can try to make that right here to explain how the onboarding process looks like for the blockchain projects NFT. Probably, so you're approaching a person that is not really familiar with blockchain or crypto or anything related to it, and you show them the website. And if it's financial, it has a lot of numbers, a lot of percentages, a lot of digits behind the dots. They usually tell you this is too complicated. I don't want to use that. Just let's stop it. Let's talk about something else. So this is really hard, but like usually that works when you say you can make like 20% APY here, and they might be interested. In terms of NFTs, usually like visual binding works quite well. So you're showing the person an NFT and they got curious like what that is. And you show that it's cost like $100 or just something small. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's I can understand that. Okay, just tell me how it works. How do I get there? How do I sell my images? And then goes a long story about that. Okay, everything is tied to the wallet now. You need to have a wallet, and this is fairly okay for the user. They like, okay, I need to get a wallet. I'm downloading a wallet. And there are a lot of wallets. We support on Rarible. We support Fortmatic. That's a wallet that is just binds to your mobile phone. If you don't have a lot of money, you can just trust somebody to hold your private keys for a while until you get into it. How does it work? So you're getting a wallet, and yeah, that's usually like okay part. But the hardest part is to get ETH to mint something or to purchase something.
Yeah.
This is when shit gets complicated. You need to go to some exchange, or yeah, that was before. That was a year ago. That was completely unusable. When you needed to go to exchange to buy ETH, that's crazy. Right now, you have a lot of services that allow you to purchase ETH with a credit card, or in the United States even with Apple Pay. That's just great. But still, it takes about like an hour or half an hour to obtain that crypto, your first crypto, to mint something or purchase something. And after that, it's usually fairly smooth. So this is the onboarding process right now. I've seen this onboarding process a lot, and yeah, the hardest part is to like the entry barrier is just quite big for the crypto, because you need to like get this whole idea about you being in custody of your keys and your digital items, about this decentralized registry that is copied to a lot of computers. To like, this is just a new idea. You get used
Definitely.
you get used to like big companies allowing you to log in with your email and password, and here you have a wallet and your credentials being these 12 words. And this idea that I can use the same 12 words in another wallet to connect to the website if the first wallet doesn't work, for example. Yeah, that's a little bit hard, but after you get it, it becomes much better. You feel much more confident that, like, okay, if that wallet doesn't work, I can go to this website with another wallet. If that website doesn't work, I can go to another website with the same item. So this moves the layer of ownership a little bit closer to you, and once you're comfortable with it, it gets much more like convenient. You don't feel dependent on some service. Like when Spotify doesn't work, you can't go to another streaming service to listen to your music while they are down. Because, yeah, it's all different. Or when your email doesn't work, you can go to another email provider because nobody would know your address, your new address, and your old address isn't transferable. So yeah, this is like all of this is hard parts about crypto products. I've built crypto products for 8 years now, different ones, mostly trading ones for advanced like technical audience. But like the biggest issue is the simplicity of all of it. And a lot of developers, when they're developing something, they're spending a lot of time on their product, and they analyze their product, and they don't feel that it's hard, and it's really not that hard. You can spend like 30 minutes to read the FAQ and understand what's happening with every crypto product. You can research, like they show you the wallet. You can, if you really like curious about what that is, you can go to Google and understand what that wallet is. But what's most of the developers missing is that people just don't have enough time and attention to achieve that. If they absolutely have to, if they really want to make, I don't know, $1 million trading on Binance, they probably would do that.
Then they will.
But if they just were curious for a moment about what that blockchain stuff is, and they passed by your website and they realized that there is a 30 minutes onboarding, well, yeah, they're probably just click on the tab and go to YouTube to do something more fun.
This reminds me of a Silicon Valley episode where they received such great reviews for the first release of the platform, but turns out the guys who were reviewing this were exclusively developers, and no one from the real like audience understood that. So it's pretty funny, but it's also pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's exactly accurate. This series is amazing. I do remember studying in the university. We like, you know, this Google PageRank algorithm of sorting the links on the internet in the right order. So in order to get this will be a long story. In order to build this rating of links, when you search something, they've built a mental model. So what they did is they created this random walk process. They tried to simulate the behavior of the user when interacting with the internet. So if there is an outgoing link on the website, so you came to the website, there is 5 links. With the equal probability, you click on each of that 5 links, and that gets you to another website. On the new website, there is again some links, and so you click on those links. That's how you browse the internet, and then they like get a millions of like virtual users to the internet and try to understand like how many websites would they how often the specific website would be visited if the users would just randomly walk over the whole internet. That's like the bare backbone of the PageRank algorithm. But it's missing one piece here. When you came to the website with no links, you got to do something. Like you randomly came to the website and there is no outgoing links. What you do, what they imagined you would do is you would close the tab, and go to any random website on the internet. And that, I know when I see how users interacting with the internet in general and how I am interacting with the internet in general, it also like fits together. If you came to the website that has something difficult or like least engaging to you, talking about something you don't need, like this movement to click the top, it happens just like instinctively, very fast. Users like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And if you want to keep your users engaged, yeah, please make that simple. Make like you have 5 seconds to impress the user with something that they need to have on your website. Otherwise they went. They just went. So yeah, what was the question?
No, we basically got into the topic of how to, like, what is the icebreaker for users to get into blockchain space if they're non-native. And I think you provided a pretty comprehensive answer to that. I actually have a follow-up question on that. Rarible is very active with the partnerships, and hopefully we'll be doing even more partnerships outside of the crypto industry next year. And for example, one of the recent events, Sean Lennon, an artist, issued his first NFT on Rarible and sold it there. Do you think, what is the significance, and this is not like the only precedent, what is the significance of these types of collaborations when someone with like well-known name enters and mints something on Rarible and like, or on enters NFT space in general? Is it something that helps, as an example? And is it hard to actually get these people to try it, or it's something they're already hearing about the market and they come to you and like they come to us and they want to do something in collaboration themselves?
Well, that's, of course, that's important for the whole industry. So like I actually think that we can do more for those users. We would do more. We will increase the awareness in terms of like the featuring page coming on the website, and we've been pushing it back for a while now, because it often feels like, okay, like if the website is featuring somebody, that means that they're like targeting and helping the specific users. But what people are missing here is that this really helps the whole industry, because usually when someone, when some celebrity comes, he brings a lot of new users with him. He brings his audience because of this. Like he's excited about. They're excited about this new opportunity. They never talked about crypto. They never had a, so like before in 2017. Like celebrities were promoting ICOs, and I don't know, it was the only way for you to participate in the market. And but now it's so much more possibilities for you to be here. The artists bring their audience with them in, I don't know, in this ethical like manner, just bringing them to this market, showing them how that works, being the leaders in the adoption. This has huge impact for the project, for the whole industry. Like I'm super happy each time like Nifty Gateway brings someone new to the market, just because I know that like this just being this just expanding the market for all of us. We are like huge supporters of everybody who comes to the platform. Usually they need some technical help to mint something, to create a wallet. There are some specific techniques on how to promote, like mentioning, doing an auction, have like thinking about when to close an auction. Actually, like I've spoken to a lot of users on the internet, to some partners. Okay, there is a question here. So I've spoken to some partners of Rarible, just the guys that I know in the crypto market, in the NFT market, and they told me that Sean Lennon did close his auction too fast. So they were like aiming, they were interested in participating, probably, and they just didn't know when he would close the auction. That's why they didn't hurry to get there. So there are some several like mechanics that you probably want to understand when entering the market, and we are super happy to help anybody who's coming here. So yeah, just this when something like that happens, it's truly amazing.
Yeah, I believe so too. There is a question. Would you like to answer it now? Are you using your C71 or your C809? And does it represent ownership of digital assets?
Yeah, so we are using ERC 721 and ERC 1155. So ERC 1155 represent multiple editions. So you can have like 50 editions of the same item, and ERC 721 is a single edition. We use these two standards, but we are curious about everything that's new on it. Thanks for just pointing out to 809. If we would receive a lot of requests about that, we might like consider implementing them as well. But yeah, this not like came to our mind a lot lately. I'll take a look and probably will consider doing this as well. So yeah, it's 721 and 1155. 1155 actually wasn't like so big. Even in May when we implemented that, most of the wallets, just your like Ethereum wallets, they didn't support 1155. The only Trust wallet and Rainbow wallet probably supported them. MetaMask didn't. So that's why we left both of the standards supported, 721 and 1155. So if 1155 would be supported by everyone, we would just get rid of 721 because 1155 is just better. It's more new. So yeah, I mentioned that just to point out how quickly the space evolves. Like most of the wallets are on 55. If you do something with NFT, I would encourage you to do that with 1155. It's just you can always have addition of one instead of many, but you can never switch from one to many. There's one more question.
There's another question. Yeah, if we can show it on the screen, Justin. And for Rarible, do you see defined tokenized positions and insurance contracts as a key part of the future for the NFT market? That's something we touched upon earlier.
That's a great question, Adam and Ace as well. Thank you for the questions. So I think that use cases for NFTs are massively underexplored. There will be a lot more new use cases for NFTs. And insurance is just one of them. In general, I feel like the distinction between DeFi and NFTs is melting. As I spoken already, there is Niftyx that allows you to fractionalize NFT. There is the collateralization of NFTs. Like this line between these two markets is blurring and will be blurred completely once we have the price discovery for NFT. Now, right now, there is no many options. How do you understand how much this NFTs cost? You can only understand what's the price by selling it, by changing hands, and that's not really great. But yeah, definitely understand why it's coming. But like I like to compare NFT market with car market. You have relatively illiquid cars, but still you can understand how much this specific car costs. because there are like other cars of the same type that are selling right now. So yeah, once we have this understanding how much this NFT costs, or at least floor price, that this costs more than $100, 100 or like 500, then you would be able to like plug NFTs into every DeFi protocol out there. You would be able to collateralize, you will be able to stake them and have a yield and all of it. But like composability of blockchain is one of the biggest advantage, because you can have protocol to protocol interactions. You can have protocol to protocol interactions, and this is just insane. If you could take an NFT and put it in a collateralized debt position, and then receive some tokens and then stake it, fractionalize it, auction it off, English auction, Dutch auction, this is all is just being, the rate of experimentation is great, and NFT will 100% sure be connected to the DeFi world. You can expect that happen with like, I don't know, there's just no question if that would happen, but when. It's already starting. That's why answering your question, Adam, again, like DeFi and tokenized position have the huge potential with the NFT world. Like you're trading NFTs would add a lot, like would just melt with these financial instruments and be there together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that. We have Adam, who just asked this last question, joining us in stream. Hi, Adam.
Yeah, thank you so much, Xenia and Alex. I appreciate it. I wanted to hop in here. I had a couple questions. I hope I didn't interject, but I was very curious because I've never had the opportunity to speak with Rarible. So I hope you don't mind if I asked a couple questions, Xenia. Is that okay?
Of course. Please do, of course.
Okay, great. So, you know, I'm enamored by these NFT marketplaces and, you know, how far they've matured in such a short amount of time. And the whole subset and culture, which I think is a big component, like the community aspect of, you know, the art and everything else, like people that aren't even necessarily super crypto are jumping in and collecting these things like at an astounding rate. You know, as an artist, you know, she worked with Adult Swim and she was in the VR space and ended up becoming, you know, an NFT artist first before even like Ethereum or anything else. She just dove straight in the NFT space. And that was like a very interesting onboarding procedure that like, not like procedure, I guess, just experience that like I'd never even considered. Like you've heard of the random person that jumps in Ethereum, that's becoming more and more segment and they're Ethereum first, right? But there's this like new class that's like literally just NFT first. And I don't even know if they know that much about blockchain actually at all. They just like, oh, non-fungible tokens. Okay, we can trade these things. And they don't necessarily understand the underlying market, but it's very interesting to see that juxtaposed against like these DeFi guys that have been in crypto forever and now are kind of getting into the, you know, the swings and the tradable contracts. So you have these two juxtaposed positions from crypto sitting on the same platform, purchasing different things and experiencing different parts of the crypto you know, sphere. I'm very curious if there's something, Alex, this is my next question, because the DeFi contracts, you know, this is something I thought about for quite some time, and then it started becoming a thing, right? And you've seen all the fractionalization of these positions and all these derivatives. What is something that I'm missing in NFTs that's emerging right now, or maybe hasn't emerged yet from your perspective, being the NFT marketplace guy? Is there something out there that like nobody's taking a chunk out of that you guys are looking to do, or that you would like to see happen? And because I miss things all the time and I was like, man, why didn't I think of that? So I didn't know if there's anything out there like that, Alex, and I wanted to hear your position on it.
Well, the most emergent thing is definitely intersection between DeFi world and NFT world. So we had this new, like this September, we had rebirth in some way of the CryptoPunk community, because somebody just came up with the contract that allowed you to wrap a CryptoPunk and to receive a compliant, RC721 compliant punk that they weren't be able to trade on the marketplace before, just because they were so early, before the contracts were out there, before the standards were out there. So somebody just came up with this idea to wrap into NFT, and the punks became much more liquid now. They started to be traded on OpenSea, on Rarible. We rewarded users to trade punks, and there was just this massive spike of users in the CryptoPunks community. So I think this idea of wrapping into NFT is really powerful now, emerging. We have insurance, NFT insurance, NFT options are the newest things. There was a project last year on ETH London that were allowed you to wrap CDP into NFT, your collateralized debt position, and to move it between Compound and Maker with flash loans. So this is just huge. As I told before, that can allow you to adopt so many new users to DeFi when just showing the DeFi stuff much more easy for them. Just wrap some tokens, just wrap the liquidity pool, and like you can have an NFT that would be showing the yield like 17% APY to put to this pool, and that can be visual, that can be descriptive with the name, it will lay in your wallet. Amazing thing. I'm a big fan of NFT badges as well that are working as keys. So there is a project, I don't think this is allowed, so I don't name them, but what they are doing is they're doing KYC NFTs. So if you post KYC on their website, they give you an NFT that is telling everyone that you passed the KYC somewhere. And this way you can start interacting with other projects that require to pass the KYC without just like passing it again. It becomes the part of your identity.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah. This melting between DeFi and identity management, I think again has a huge potential, just because like services like $3 now they're like developing ceramic network that allow you to have a lot of stuff attached to your wallet as your identity. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually just looking here, and one of the things I like to do, if at all possible, is just kind of demo the use of this product, right? So there's a pretty cheap NFT here, right? There's this girl in the middle. There's a bunch of other stuff. I'm just going by price here. You could buy this one, or any one of these, right? I'm trying to think of like what's a good wallet. It's not gonna get me in trouble. The girl in the Merry Christmas is pretty interesting to me. I might purchase this one, right? So like let's do the buy now, right? Connect your wallet. It's done. Go in here. You hit buy now. Proceed to the payment.
You're purchasing one. Can you make it more fast? Yeah, because otherwise it can hang.
Yeah, it should be done in a second. It's done, right? So that's literally the entire process to use Alex's platform, and it's literally incredible for all the users in here. So if you want to collect some art, I got this Christmas babe, whatever you want to call it over here. We purchased on screen. Maybe a little dicey. Maybe Nick's gonna get mad at me for picking that one, but I mean, this is art, and you can get in here and you can play with it, and there's all kinds of awesome stuff here, everybody. So I just wanted to jump in and do that as well, in addition to my question, because I felt like we were talking about it the whole time, but it's a whole different thing to go through and experience it. So for anybody wondering, what did that take, like 15 seconds? It's done. You get it through. It's all good. I just think they have a wonderful platform. So that was my 2 cents. And Xenia, I know we're running kind of close to time here, but I felt like it was maybe I picked the wrong picture there to go after, but it was the price was good. Yeah, I just wanted to show kind of how that works. But there's tons of content on here. and
I
it's
think it's a
pretty cool.
perfect addition. Yeah, it's very cool that you jumped in. Thank you for that, and very like nice, like also giving it a little bit of Christmas, adding to the Christmas topic of today's event in general. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think basically like there was only one question I would like to ask on top of that, and maybe Adam, you can also stay with us to like join the discussion about it, because this stream was mostly turned out to be dedicated of how do we engage the non-crypto native audience, and we went through some of the main topics. I think Alex, you're muted. And how do we explain the community governance, and how do we explain the decentralized autonomous organization, because this is exactly the way how Rarible is governed. How do we get this message? How do we explain how this works to someone? Okay, we managed to get him on there, but how do we get them to participate in this governance process as well? This is probably my last question for today.
Thanks a lot for that question. So this is the hardest part of all of it. I believe when it comes to the governance, that's only for the limited audience right now, but we are working internally to make it working for the much broader segment. So like the idea of governance is the following. Okay, we have a protocol. It can execute some code. It can make something work, and that doesn't rely on us. Why don't we make the change of that protocol, the upload of new things, the upload of new features, to also happen not without being dependent on us? So we like in like put simply, it works like a multi-signature wallet. When you need to 5 parties to sign a transaction for it to go through, and now instead of this multi-signature wallet, you need to sign you need to run a voting with your token holders to vote on the stuff to be changed in the platform. And this is the very powerful idea, because it adds so much resilience to the platform. Like, why do you buy an NFT now for $1,000? Because you believe that it will be there forever, just like the physical painting that is being here for 100 years now. You buy it because you think that it will be, you believe that it will be there forever. And we as the platform, we as the project needs to make that sure that it will be. And the blockchain, it will be there for a long time, definitely. Now the governance of it is so resilient, like Ethereum is being governed by the community is creating new things, and the same should be happening with the platform. So like, who knows what will happen in 5 years, but like when it's like open source development, like Linux development, there is a core maintainers that propose new changes and people vote like, do we need to implement that or not? That one big advantage of that is like, we as a team are not a limiting factor to the community's creativity. Like, it's funny parallel between how users hopped into Rarible to create NFTs, because we allowed them to create NFTs without any limitation of like what should that be, to unleash their creative power, like just like creating everything for every use case out there without our control. And the same happens with governance. When you launch governance of a project, there is instantly the life originates like in the petri dish. There is like 100 users proposing something to implement something, hiring users, hiring coders, like making deals with somebody. So it's much more broad, horizontal development of the project. It's usually a little bit slower because you need to back and forth with everybody to get any consensus about implementing stuff. So like, governance slows down the project, but makes it much more lively, much more resilient to the change. I would summarize it like this.
Yeah, this makes sense. I think our time is up now. Thank you so much for Blockchain Center for having us today. Thank you, Adam, for jumping in to add like a visual side to what we have been talking about. And thank you so much, Alex, for sharing your thoughts on the NFT market. Yeah, I think this is it for today for NFT, and there are a lot of more exciting guests that will be on this event with Blockchain Center today.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.